What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you are new to the channel, I am Gold Pony. This is Gold Pony Crypto. And so I've been doing a lot of VVS videos lately, so I figured I'd just continue the trend and make another one. In this video, I'm going to be going over 5 reasons why I think VVS Finance could take off in the next bull run, if not make you a millionaire. Before we get started, of course, nothing in this video should be considered financial advice. This is simply for educational and entertainment purposes. Just kind of wanted to cover VVS Finance a little bit and why I think they are an excellent DEX here on Chronos. So let's go ahead and get started. And so first, let's go ahead and get started with the tokenomics of VVS. And so it's kind of interesting. So the way they do it is they run off of a halving schedule, but the halving schedule halves essentially every single year. So unlike Bitcoin that halves every 4 years, VVS is halving every year. And so they just most recently, about 2 months ago on November 9th, 2022, had their first halving. So for the first year, there was 50 trillion tokens emitted. So now for the second year, there is going to be 25 trillion and so on. So every single year, that token emittance is going to be cut in half. And so this is essentially going to reward the early adopters, hence me making this video for you guys now. I'm not saying that it's going to go absolutely nuts in the next bull run. I'm just saying that if you were going to accumulate now when the token emissions are there, because by the next top, the emissions for VVS is going to be much less. So total supply is 100 trillion. The current circulating supply at the time of this video is approximately 32.2 trillion. Do want to also mention something very important you always like to look at is 23% of the supply is going to the devs or the team, but I will say that supply follows a 4-year vesting schedule, meaning they can't really have access to it until that 4 years is complete. So that's the tokenomics, but now let me go ahead and touch on their NFT, which is the VVS miner moles, which I have one. I have one right now, so that's pretty cool. But anyways, there essentially are 10,000 miner moles. It's kind of got that CryptoPunk style art as well. This collection was launched back in August of 2022 for a mint price of $125 in VVS token. And so I'm going to look down at my phone here for this next part, but there is a ton of utility for the VVS miner moles. And so first off, I wanted to mention the VVS miner mole holders get access to exclusive access, I should say, to VVS IGOs, like the recent one that just happened. So essentially allows holders to bypass the IGO whitelisting requirements so they can just get access to it simply by holding a VVS miner mole. You also, of course, also get yield boost in the VVS farms. There's daily staking rewards, which I am currently doing on the Minted platform, which is the new NFT platform incubated by Chronos Labs. And there is also the VVS Gachi game, which I am also currently participating in, so trying to keep my VVS miner mole healthy every single day. And if you were to get to 100 health, apparently there's some mystery prize as well. I'm at like 82 right now, so let me know what you guys are at in the comment section below if you're currently playing that. So you got a couple different options with that NFT. Like I said, you can stake it on Minted, so you can earn Minted token. You can play the VVS Gachi. You can use it for boost in the VVS farm. So you got plenty of options. It has a ton of utility for those particular reasons. And so next reason why I like VVS is that they were incubated by Particle B at the time, now known as Chronos Labs. Why is this important? Because Chronos Labs, aka Particle B, was founded by one of the co-founders of Crypto.com. His name is Gary Orr. So you would therefore assume that any projects that were incubated by Chronos Labs have a I'm just going to say special relationship with Crypto.com because the relationship is already there. So that tells me that there's probably going to be a lot of support for VVS, which is probably why it was one of the first DEXs on Chronos that was also listed on the Crypto.com app. It was VVS, and then it was Tectonic, and then MMF actually also got listed as well, which is pretty cool. But the fact that VVS was the first DEX that was listed on the Crypto.com centralized app for people to purchase through that tells me that there's probably a relationship between VVS and Crypto.com. So they have the backing there, in my opinion, I believe. Next thing I wanted to touch on, my number 4, if you will, is the security of VVS, because this was one thing that I remember when they got their audit back in the day. When the audit was posted on Twitter, the company's name was DeFi Safety. They put on Twitter that they had an eye-watering large bug bounty program. So this essentially means that they have this program, whereas if somebody were to find a critical bug within their DEX, they would pay them very generously. So when they describe it as eye-watering large bug bounty, this means that it is probably larger than the majority of other DEXs out there, which tells me it is more likely to be a safer DEX than other DEXs out there because of that. So you always follow the money, right? And they went on to say, one of the most fantastically committed developer teams we have had the pleasure of working with. So this is an auditing team that essentially said it was a pleasure working with the VVS devs with everything they were doing with the audit. So another third-party company is backing VVS, saying that they're wonderful, saying that they have an excellent bug bounty program. So again, the security, therefore, has got to be top-notch, which I'm a big fan of because some other DEXs have had issues with that. But to my knowledge, I don't recall that VVS has ever had any kind of major issues regarding the security or any kind of hacks or breaches or anything like that. And my last reason, because I got 5 here for you guys, is the total value locked and the competition. I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. So total value locked, at the time of me making this video right now at least, is number 1. They have the most total value locked of any other DEX currently on Cronos. And so then looking at the competition, there's really only one other DEX that I would consider using that I have used, I'll put it that way, and that's MMF. So I'm a big fan of them as well. But having said that, since we're touching on competition, they have had some security issues in the past. One of them, I wouldn't say was their fault. There was a Discord hack, so no big deal there. But there was a front-end breach, but I will say the way they responded to it was brilliant. So they immediately shut that down, and then anybody who was affected by it, they essentially paid them back. They refunded them for any kind of money that was lost. And you know what the saying is, what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. So from then on, they haven't had any issues because it's things like that that happen that really push you to become better. So that's why I feel like I can trust MMF as well right now, because they have been put to the test essentially, and they have bounced back stronger. So I do like that, but again, that's never happened to VVS yet, knock on wood. Then the rest of the competition I would say is relatively new, with some exceptions like Crodex. I'm a big fan of them, I've used them plenty of times, but they are a smaller DEX, as well as Cyborg Swap. I've used them, they are a smaller DEX as well. One of the more up and coming DEXs right now is Board Candy City, and so they have yet to be put to the test in my particular opinion, just because they're so new. They seem great though, a lot of people seem to like them, but ultimately VVS is still going to be the safest because of that bug bounty program, and because they have already gone through the bull market and they have been put to the test, I'm sure, in more ways than one. And the other thing I want to mention, kind of as a bonus number 6 or whatever, is the amount of exchanges that VVS is on right now is still very minimal. You have, of course, VVS. You can buy VVS on VVS. That makes sense. Crypto.com app, you got them as well. But then all I could really find as far as bigger exchanges and any kind of volume was BitGet, which is more really of just a trading site. So essentially, they have room to expand. What if in this next bull run, they got listed on another major exchange like Coinbase or like Binance or like Gemini if they're still here, any other major exchange? I'm just saying. So the possibility is definitely there for some added liquidity there. So I am looking forward to what's to come for VVS. I'll just put it that way. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of VVS in the comment section below. That is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on Twitter for different cryptocurrency updates. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into Crypto.com, Crow, and Chronos, because that is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.